Yeah, there might be Morgans. Okay, so I want to talk about your entrepreneurial life. Okay, you want to take notes on this? Entrepreneurial, or your life as an entrepreneur. I want you to understand that your life, you're the entrepreneur of your life. Have you realized that? Okay. So whether you guys are with us in Cutco forever, or a few months, or a few weeks, or a few years, that what you're learning here as an entrepreneur is going to take you big places in your life. Okay, so what is an entrepreneur? Write down a couple things. What do you think an entrepreneur does? What are some characteristics of an entrepreneur? Write that down. All right, so let's share. What is an entrepreneur? What do they do? So they sell things. Sure, Hayden?
Start their own company.
They're self-starters. They start their own company.
They're self-motivated.
Self-motivated. Okay. Independent. Thank you. 2 for Morgan there.
Oh, no, one of them was Ashley.
What?
One of them was Ashley.
Oh, Ashley. You guys sound the same.
Self-employed.
Okay, so self-employed.
Self-motivated.
So self-motivated. Self-employed, Josh said. So in business for yourself. What are some of their characteristics of an entrepreneur?
They have to sell their ideas.
Okay.
Or their self.
Life is sales. You're either selling yourself, an idea, a service, or a product. So they're selling their ideas, their vision. They have a big vision. As Lexi said earlier, which I really appreciate, Lexi, a lot of your points were similar to some points I have as well. But you need to be consistent. Okay? Other characteristics of an entrepreneur.
A person who organizes and operates a business or businesses.
All right. Thank you, Keaton, for the Webster's Dictionary version of an entrepreneur. I appreciate it.
Keaton, I missed you.
Mr. Deca.
Missed you too, Smorgs.
Okay. So some things we talked about right there. Okay. Realize you are the entrepreneur of your life. There's a few finite resources that we have choices to be the entrepreneur over. Those 3 are your time, your money, and your energy. Your time, your money, and your energy. You only have so much of those resources. And as an entrepreneur, it's your job to continue to make the choices in these areas to really be able to stay consistent with them and be your best in each one of these and use these to your best advantage. Okay? And so what I want to go through here is help you realize that every area of your life, every situation is your choice. And as an entrepreneur, you get a chance to learn that. And so as a rep, as a manager, as a business owner, you're learning how to make those choices to be your best self in each area. Robert 2 said, respect yourself enough to walk away from anything that no longer serves you, grows you, or makes you happy. If you missed that, it's on Twitter this morning, so you can retweet that. I posted this morning. You know, as an entrepreneur, you have to know what serves you. You know, what choices you're making that's helping you grow, making you happy, and which ones aren't. In this business, in your life, in your finances, at school, your friend group. And so my main mission in this little 10-minute talk here is to help you guys start thinking about your life a little bit differently and making some enhanced choices. So next, what I want you guys to write down is what are your three main outcomes for the year, the rest of the year. You have 3 months left, whether it's school-related, health-related, relationship-related, Cutco-related, whatever it may be. What are your 3 main outcomes for the rest of the year? And write those 3 down. Could be President's Club this fall. It could be Dirty 30. Could be your next promo. So Hayden, now instead of 6K or 10K, Dirty 30. Could be lose Lose 10 pounds. If you're like Keaton, add 10 pounds of solid muscle. It could be to get a 4.0. Could be to get promoted officially to an assistant manager. So what are your 3 main outcomes? If you have more than 3, you have way too many. Some would even argue 1 main focus is most important, but I've heard many times from many successful people, if you have more than 3 priorities, you have none. So what are your 3 main outcomes for the rest of the year? Okay? Anyone need more time? Good. 3 main outcomes. All right. So if you were the business owner of that outcome, how are you doing towards that? Do your actions, your choices reflect you being a successful entrepreneur with that? And we can take a look at a couple areas and we can find out what is actually your priority. Are you actually striving towards those 3 outcomes? So our calendars and our bank account is a reflection of our priorities. So if you're the entrepreneur of your life, will your bank account reflect that? If you're trying to be successful, quote unquote, business owner of your health, is your calendar reflecting that? Right? Because it's your choice. What's awesome as an entrepreneur, we have so much flexibility, but so many options. And we're constantly distracted by this thing called life, this thing called Facebook and Snapchat, everything else that's easier to do as opposed to what's most important to do in the moment. And so you ask yourself, are my activities reflecting me being a successful entrepreneur in school, in that relationship, in Cutco, in my finances? I could take a look at your monthly bank statement and go, these look like a lot of bars on here. Is that the right choice towards you having your best GPA or your best body or your best energy? All right. So I challenge you guys this weekend to look at that. Look at your schedule. Look at your bank account. If you use mint.com or you have online banking, look at that and go, ooh, my goal, like if it's Keaton who's doing P90X right now, looking to get fit and sexy, is it actually reflecting that in his schedule and in his bank account, or is there McDonald's on there every day, right? Or is there other poor choices?
Negative Ghost Rider.
Negative, good.
McDonald's is not on the menu.
Good, but Culver's is. All right, just kidding. But
No.
so a quote, I've been reading a book, I didn't bring it up here, I've been rereading it, and it's by Darren Hardy called The Roller Coaster. It's called The Entrepreneurship Roller Coaster. Really good book. If you're going to open up an office, it's a must read. If you're going to run your own business, it's a must read. It's so good. And so in there, I have a few quotes because I've been going through it again. Little life hack is when you read a book, how many times do we forget what we read? Or a month later, we aren't even implementing it. So when you go through, annotate it, do highlights, mark it up, do all that, and then go back. And it's so easy to go through the books. I can go through all the highlights in an hour as opposed to spending 10 hours reading it. So I was doing that in the last couple days. Hayden, question?
Can you say the title of the book again?
The title of the book is The Entrepreneur, hold on. I'm going to grab it in my bag.
It's the Entrepreneur Roller Coaster.
Yeah, Entrepreneur Roller Coaster.
By Darren Hardy.
Why can't we see his face? I
Darren Hardy.
Thank you.
Suda.
I got you, bro.
Thank you. All right. Boom.
Cool.
There it is. It's amazing. It's really, really good. Love it. Love it.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So in the book, he said the first and most important factor in building a successful business is you have to love it. Okay, you have to love it. You have to love what you do.
It's just the entrepreneur.
No, I don't know the author.
Oh,
Darren Hardy. Really good. Follow him.
you can probably just
Promotion.
So again, the quote was, the first and most important factor in building a successful business is you have to love it. All right, so again, getting back to your life being, you're the entrepreneur of it, I have to ask you a question. Do you love yourself? I hope so. No, that's the being we love the most normally. And I'd say we're all pretty selfish. We love ourselves a lot, all right? But, do you love yourself? I hope so. because you are the business entrepreneur of your own life. So you have to make those choices. And Darren Hardy said, being a leader is tough. Work is going to suck most of the time. He said 95% of the time, but the other 5% is freaking awesome. Okay, so going with that, being an entrepreneur of your life, how much does phoning suck, right? It is horrible, right? I don't think anybody ever, even us who've done a lot of phone calls, sold a ton of Cutco, I don't think there's rare that any of us are going to go, yes, I love making phone calls. Oh my gosh, I get pumped, I wake up, I'm ready to go. I think of nothing else but how soon can I make phone calls? Nobody ever does that, but we love the results, right? So we're loving the results of that. And I don't think me personally, I do the Miracle Morning. I wake up at 5 a.m. Do I like it? I actually don't. There's not one day ever, I think I've gotten out of bed, my alarm goes off, I go, yippee, I can't wait to just take on this day. Even though I have to, it gives me a few seconds, gets me going a little bit, I think, I debate. And by the way, that same voice in your guys' head, oh, should I get up, shouldn't I? Should I hit snooze or shouldn't I? I've just conditioned myself to choose to get up and to want to get up and do that right away and not even give myself time to debate. Because if you don't think you're a salesperson, you are. Because how many times do we say we're going to do things we don't? You are the best salesperson ever to yourself, right? And as an entrepreneur, you need to battle those. And so for me, it's those little voices you have to combat, you have to get away from. So is it hard to study every day? Yeah, that sucks. But the 4.0 you get is pretty freaking awesome, as Darren Hardy says, right? Keaton, I don't know if you ever go to P90X and you think, I'm so excited to ache and be out of breath and hurt. But afterwards you're like, I feel ripped, I feel good. So same thing with phone calls. You may not like that, but you're going to love that 5%, those results and that paycheck. Some of you have been being hard on a little bit and saying, I'll pass around extra applications for Culver's and McDonald's, Walmart, wherever, because, hey, there you're forced to work. You'll actually be making a decent amount of money. For some of you, you're making a ton. For some of you, you aren't because you aren't taking those areas of your life as serious as you could. So I challenge you to be the entrepreneur of that area of your life. Okay? And, this really is leadership. Every time I struggle in a different area of my life, I think, okay, that isn't Cutco, that isn't this person, that isn't this workout plan. It's just being in leadership. You're going to struggle. In most things you do, there's going to be times where you debate doing what you should do and you shouldn't. And anytime I think about my business and in our office, I think anytime it gets tough, I'm like, well, this is the same struggles that I have as a leader, no matter where I am. And so wherever I'm going to go, it's going to be tough. But you doing this now, being an entrepreneur as a job in different areas of your life, you're preparing yourself for being a parent, for being a husband, for being a wife, for being whoever else you want to be in the future. And being your best self now, but then being able to set yourself up for whether you run your own office with us, you're a CSP, or you graduate and you go do what your major is and find out what you want to do there. Now, as you go through this, and you think about your life in each area, as the entrepreneur of your own life in different areas of your life, understand that we are motivated by achieving pleasures or avoiding pain. So achieving pleasure or avoiding pain. If neither of those are strong enough, you won't take action, okay? So until you get fat enough, you may not take action. Until you almost fail out of school, you may not take action. Until you're broke and you're struggling financially, you may not take action. So, I don't want you guys to wait for that moment. I'd rather have you be thriving and crushing it right now. And so what you want to do is not let it get to that point. But Darren Hardy said in his book, almost every great achievement began with someone who finally got ticked off and said, enough is enough. So is there an area of your life that you feel like enough is enough and you want to go for it? Okay.
That's good.
Mm-hmm. So, and as you do that as an entrepreneur, what I love is it's failure over and over again. At our SLC conference, there's a really cool picture that one of the speakers talked about how we think success is one way, failure is the other way. When actually, failure is what we have to get through multiple times to be successful. And that's what I love about being an entrepreneur and thinking about being an entrepreneur of your life. We have to fail a lot, and I'm sure Danny a lot as a parent, has failed a lot as a parent to be an awesome parent. I failed a ton as a husband to become and learn how to become a better husband. And you failed a lot as a Cutco rep to learn how to make things easier and better and be a better Cutco rep. You failed a lot in ways that school doesn't work, so you figured out how it is able to work. Another cool quote by Darren Hardy, he said, DNA, so this goes with, sometimes you feel like, oh, they're from that area of town, or they're smarter, or they're just cuter, or they have it easier. But he said DNA has nothing to do with success. Okay? You need to turn your jeans into overalls and get to work. Oh, I'll say it again. DNA has nothing to do with your success. DNA has nothing to do with your success. You need to turn your jeans into overalls and get to work. Okay, so like Lexi, how cool is that? She went to lacrosse, had nobody to start with, and then had like 3 to 5, and then now is crushing it, and probably one of the most consistent reps in the state, if not the region right now, because she just made that choice. And yeah, it's her job as an entrepreneur, but school, because I'm sure that trickles into other areas of her life, as you heard, everything she's doing, her busy schedule, her boxing, all of that. So you want to know that you need to make that choice. And the thought, I can't, is a lie. We use it to excuse ourselves from trying. Okay, when you look at someone, you look at something, and you think, oh, I can't do that. That's just your mind selling yourself. And might as well not give it a shot. You guys can sell 1,000 a week. You guys can sell 2,000 or 3,000 a week. You can be an assistant manager. You can open up your own office. You can have a 4.0. You can be the best significant other and parent and pet owner you're able to be. Okay, some of you are debating getting pets here, which is great. Practice.
No, not there.
What happens is we're surrounded, like some of you are so, this is why these meetings are so important, because some of you are surrounded by the common people. So in school, you have the common people, right? Many of you guys are in college. So conforming to the common type is not good. Like why be like most people? Okay, think about it as students, what are you guys learning? What are you guys around? Usually not the most positive scenarios, usually not the most hardworking or the most focused. Okay, what I love about being an entrepreneur is that it's different. It goes against the grain. I don't want to be like most people. And if you guys aren't succeeding here making those choices, what makes you think it's going to be different somewhere else, right? Because this is just helping you prepare for the future. And he said, being an entrepreneur challenged people's choices and identity. People, rather than stepping up for themselves, it's safer for them to scorn your choices and attack you in hope of dragging you back into the herd so they can feel better about themselves. And I don't know if you guys noticed, but only 10% of the nation is an entrepreneur. Only 10%. So 90% are conditioned in the employee mentality and somebody telling you what to do. And they aren't taking not only their job, but also, well, I shouldn't say that, but they aren't taking their life as serious as they could. And that's why it's so cool, many of you as young people, to learn this now as opposed to 25, 35, 45, and then it's almost too late. You've wasted 20, 30 years of your life trying to figure this stuff out. Okay? So look at your 3 outcomes for the rest of the year. Look at those 3. What are those 3? Okay. And pick one that you are going to take an action towards or a new step today. Tony Robbins says if you don't take action within 24 hours, you're not going to do it. I failed too many times that as proof of not taking action within 24 hours. So pick at least one of those outcomes, and then pick something you're going to do in like today in that outcome to help you towards getting that, finishing that, accomplishing that by the end of the year. Okay. Cool. Okay. Yeah, so basically just to wrap things up and in closing, I challenge you guys to look at your life from an entrepreneur perspective. You're building the life of your dreams. You're building the health of your dreams. You're building the family of your dreams. You're building the business of your dreams, your bank account of your dreams. But it all comes back to your choices and how you're treating those areas of your life as your own business. And do you want to be successful in it? So be different. Go against what's normal for young people. You are the entrepreneur of your life, so don't waste it. That's what I got.